Hey, hey, hey. We're back for another season of Love and Marriage Huntsville. Are you as excited as I am? Because I now have something to watch on Saturday nights. Because before Saturday nights, I was saving shows for Saturday night. So this season opens up with Marceau and Maurice, a nice huge overhead shot of them driving up a mountain or a hill I guess in Huntsville or around Huntsville, and that's an expensive shot, mind you, people. I used to work in commercials, and an overhead shot, whenever we wanted an overhead shot, that was expensive. So they paid money for that shot. So we open up with them. They're now at the top of the hill or mountain. They're on the 47 acres Scott Manor, which is still not quite under development. I don't think they've broken ground yet, but it's still under development. Then they introduce an uncle who comes up, and I guess he's like a project manager or a contract, and he's like, hounding them like, when we gonna get started? We gotta get this started. And Marcel's like, man, it's Tisha. Tisha's holding up the process. Tisha's always changing her mind. And Maurice is like, happy wife. And then, they go back and forth. Marcel is like, well, Kimmi ain't gonna let you, move to Scott Manor. What do you mean, let? It's always this power struggle of male, female with Marcel. Like, it's always like, I'm the man, you the woman, And Maurice is like, happy life. And he's like, man, happy life, happy wife. He's like, man, happy wife, because Marcel ain't about that happy wife life. He is all about Marcel happy. Like, you're not making me happy, Tisha. Therefore, it's not a happy home. So that's at least, the persona that he portrays on the show. It seems like it might carry over to real life, but So they discuss, the ever-going Tisha and Kimmi drama. Kimmi wasn't giving Tisha the support that she thought she needed when it came to her relationship with Mel. And it's like, if you're a grown woman, Tisha, you know how to separate that Kimmi can be friends with Mel and not be friends with you, or vice versa. So, like, that drama. So we can see that drama is going to continue this season, or at least for maybe this episode. So they go on, they discuss that. We cut away, we come back to Mel and Destiny. Destiny pays Mel a visit at her house. We see the shot of the house. Is that a new house that Mel's in? I don't recall their old house being that whitish gray wash color, but maybe so. I don't remember. So Mel and Destiny are catching up, and Destiny announced that Laderick, whoever, they call him LB this episode because I guess they figured out, everybody's like, what's with the Sadaric, the Laberic, the Laderick, the Chaderic, the Marceau, all these names are confusing. So they said LB. So what's up? Well, Destiny announces, which everybody thought, they divorced. They're getting a divorce. And Mel is like, what? Mel was really taken aback that she didn't know about this. I don't know that she didn't know about this, but she was really taken aback that Destiny hadn't shared with her. She's like, well, Mel, you had a lot going on. I didn't have that much going on. She says, Destiny, I'm your friend. Let me at least be your friend. So it's like, well, blah, 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 this and that. And I'm divorcing, so that goes by. They start, Destiny mentions, I went to lunch with Kimmi. We had a talk. And see, here's the thing. Kimmi and Destiny had a beef from Destiny's introduction to the show. But it was such a simple, let me be on the show. I need to, make my presence known. Just because Kimmi said, oh, he's a chicken man. And Destiny took offense that Laderick, whatever his name is, LB, that Kimmi reduced him down to just selling chicken. But if I recall, he had a chicken company. And to me, it's like, when you know of people for one thing, that's what you kind of refer to them as. It may sound diminishing to people, but that was Kimmy's frame of reference. I don't know him, but I know he sells chicken. And if anything, Destiny could have capitalized off of that. That could have been his brand, the Chicken Man, but no, she didn't like that, because that was a dig. You digging at him for being a chicken man. You digging at him for what he does. He sells chicken, right? So anyhow, they apparently had to come to Jesus, but then Destiny also said she was asking me questions, like as if Kimmi was digging. So it's like, they're not really back they're not really on the same page. It seems. We don't know. I don't know. So then we cut away. We come back and Martell's on the call with his daughter. It's like, oh, this is a cute scene we need to throw in. His daughter calls, can you bring me some chips? What kind of chips? Blah, blah, blah. Chips, chips, chips. Send me some chips. So the little girl sends a picture. Kimmi walks in. Kimmi walks in with like a cart, a cooler cart. We find out that she has meal prepped for Marcel because Tisha is so busy with school, not doing her wifely duties of cooking, and Kimmi brought some healthy options. And you know, they are really trying to sell Kimmi off as this cook chef, which she may be. I would love to taste Kimmi's food to see. She did say she meal prepped some salmon and some avocado and something else. And my main question was stuck in my head because I love avocado so much was, is that avocado gonna be eaten now? Because if it's not gonna be eaten now, and I know how meal preps are for like one day, Tuesday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So if he's not eating that today, that avocado is gonna be bad. Just so you know, Kimmi, so when you put avocado in a meal prepping container, make sure you put a note, must be eaten today. Anyhow, Marcel then starts asking Kimmi, like, you know, he thinks he can convince anybody of anything. And here's an unpopular opinion. Marcel is my favorite character on the show. And I know we're saying characters, these are real people, this is reality TV, but Marcel is my favorite character. Why? Because one, he understands the reality TV assignment. He gives you everything you need. He gives you drama, but then he also gives you a sound mind. He is able to convince and manipulate people. So he thinks, and he's kind of charming. I know he's a big asshole. Everybody doesn't like Marcel. And maybe because I kind of gravitate to well-spoken assholes, which is a character flaw for me, but I like Marcel. I think he's funny, and he gives the TV everything he wants, and I love his bantering with Wanda because, I mean, they just aren't matched intellectually, and I think it's funny. So Marcel then asks Kimmi, can you plan the party? Wait a minute. Now, what sense does that make? I know we're all kind of related through marriage, but Marcel, why would you ask Kimmi to plan a party for a woman, your wife, whom she is beefing with? Like, I'm not going to plan a party for somebody I'm beefing with. Like, no. I'm like, no. Why? I'm not going to do it, but Marcel, being his charming self, convinced her that he would do the meat and she would do the sides. She agreed to that, so it's going to happen. It's going to happen. So, what else happens? So then we get to Marcel. We're going to have to pause this. Or could it? Wait. So then, what happens? Oh. So then, Martell pays Destiny a visit in her shop, her Madani shop, her Madani beauty supply, which, you know, everybody now has a beauty supply, which I think is great. I think that black people should be selling products to black people. That's just my soapbox. I like that Destiny has a beauty supply. My sister and I used to talk about this all the time as young women. We need our own beauty supply. The agents running all this, blah, blah, blah. They don't care about us, and blah, blah, blah. We need our own beauty supply. So kudos to Destiny and all the few other black beauty supplies. So Martell comes in with a box trying to push a product like he's a cold calling salesman. Like, here, like, I need you to sell this product. And he was like, and Destiny's like, oh, you have a deal with these people? And he was like, well, not yet. I'm trying to get 20%. Wait a minute. You brought a box in my store that you don't even have a contract? That's not good business acumen. He said, yeah, well, here's the thing. Martell is so desperate now. Like, he has ruined his position by having this side chick for 5 years and now having a baby with the side chick for 5 years. But he is yet to learn his lesson. He is so not humble at all. He is so delusional as to think that we're all so dumb and we don't know what the deal is. like he's pulled the wool over her eyes. Meanwhile, he was going on all these social platforms. Dr. Heavenly, he called Funky Dineva, I think, to interview him, and he's not making his case sound any better. He's digging a deeper hole for himself, and it's hard to watch this man, but it's actually entertaining because he's so arrogant. To try to see him climb his way out of this hole, but he's staying in the hole because he just says all the dumb things, and now he has this dumb not deal with this product line that he wants to put in Destiny's store. So then he says, "How are you and LeBaric?" And then she says, "That's in God's hands." But then she says something else to him and said, "That's why you're getting a divorce anyhow." So Martell, did you know or not that they were getting a divorce? I think you did. It's just, you're just making this, they're having this forced conversation. It was obviously production driven, but we're just watching the show for entertainment purposes, so we're going to ignore that. But he's like, "Well, it's your mouth, and that's why you're getting a divorce anyhow, your mouth. That's why I divorced Mel, because of her mouth." I'm like, let's be clear. You and Mel got a divorce because of some other woman's mouth, and not using it the same way that we're speaking of. Your mouth got you in trouble. Her mouth got you in trouble. Now you have a whole baby with somebody that you were allegedly in a relationship for 5 years, and you're saying that Mel's mouth is what got her divorce? No, she filed for divorce from you, and now you're in here trying to push a product that you don't even have a contract with. So basically, Destiny is like, you're going to get a stiletto in your head. Get out of here. Moving right along. So then we arrive at, Mel's on a Zoom call. Mel's on a Zoom call with her team, and they're discussing, I guess, making boss moves. She has a baby in her arms, so they're showing Mel is a busy mom. She's single, she's busy, but she's making boss moves. She's going to have interviews everywhere, and she has this hit song that's topping the charts, she says. What chart? The Huntsville R&B chart? Like, now mind you, I don't listen to regular radio, so I don't know if they were playing Mel's song, but I don't think so, because I don't see people doing TikTok videos of Mel's songs. So I'm assuming the chart that she's speaking of is not Billboard. I can't even see it, but whatever. So, Chris comes in, the real estate broker / marriage counselor, who tried to counsel Melody and Martell last season with his wife at their house, and when Melody threw the glass. That's who Chris is, if you don't remember. So he comes in, basically propositioning Melanie to either sell her portion of the 48 acres or come into business. And she's like, "Ain't no way in hell I'm getting into business with what Martell. Ain't what I'm trying to do. Not today, not today." So then, whatever. We get to Tisha's party. Tisha's surprise party. It looks like a party in the park that somebody left the tents from a previous party. It's like they put forth no effort for this. We see Marceau on the grill. We see a bunch of different people, random people there, and we see that Kimmi shows up, and I forgot to mention that Tisha's cousin, who looks you can tell she's from Wanda's side of the family, because she definitely looks like Wanda and Latisha. Kiki, they had an exchange in Kiki's store early on. I left that part out. However, so Kiki comes for Kimmi. It's like the whole family is like coming to fight a battle for Latisha. Latisha has 3 children and now 3 degrees, but she still needs her family, who's probably less educated than she is, to explain and fight a battle to come at Kimmi for. It's like, why are they making Kimmi have to be the big bad wolf? Like, what did Kimmi do? All Kimmi did was stay neutral. It is not Kimmy's job to get to fight Latisha's battles. Like, and so then Kimmi comes. Latisha shows up. Not surprised in one bit. And Marceau in the confessional says, "Were you surprised?" "I'm surprised that you invited my family." Ding! Because we all know that Marceau doesn't mesh with the family. And speaking of the family, we cut back and we see some new people being introduced, and we see Tisha's father. And we see Tisha's cousin with blonde hair. they're all coming from Marcel. Like, yeah, what's up with this? You know, like, what's up with you talking about us being from the other side of the tracks? And then Marcel trying to explain his way out of it, which he really didn't. Like, he was like, look, you know, y'all grew up in the projects, and sometimes I was homeless. But you know, Marcel never explains that homeless situation. They were probably homeless for like one night, maybe. Like, we can definitely tell that socially, Latisha, just how they articulate versus Marceau and Maurice and his other sibling that has been on the show. Y'all are from two different sides of the track. And call me an elitist all you want, but it's clear. Tisha, you're from here. Marceau, Maurice, and them, they're from there. Like, they're clearly from a family that spoke the King's English versus your mama Wanda. And speaking of Wanda, I am so upset and disappointed that I didn't hear her say Marceau or 20 women's at least once this episode. We did not see Wanda. She was not available for filming. Maybe her contract was not solidified in time for the first episode, but we do see that she makes an appearance next week. Tell me what you thought. Like and subscribe. Thank you very much. And I'll see you next week for Love and Marriage Huntsville. Bye. Did I cut it off?